Welcome, everybody, to another episode of FPL Potato Me, where your fantasy Premier League and carbohydrate needs can be met. Today, we will be talking about pre-season friendlies and some transfer talk, a little roundup of things going on in the world of football and fantasy Premier League. Okay, Hokkien Me, first up, Man United versus Liverpool. Tell us, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is just don't look into too much about friendly. They
Yeah,
are just
that is
they
an
are just
obvious thing to say, but
they are just
I'm sure
testing,
I'm sure
playing around
you
for the fan.
I'm sure
Just
you had a couple of did you have some looks at the highlights, or did you watch the game? Did you watch the game at all?
Now I just watch the highlight.
Okay, highlights. I mean, anything caught your eye in terms of the shape?
The
It
flow is
seems to
better.
me that ETH
The-
Ten Hag didn't really change up the formation, huh?
but that's the surprising thing. One thing, they didn't change the formation, but the
Mm-hmm.
flow seems better. The
Flow
the
seems better. Huh?
the way they attack seems a lot better. The way they attack the player, the winger, you can see is although it's a very short because ETH just train less than 1 month, right? Yeah, then they fly
Yeah,
to
yeah,
fly
a
to
month
Thailand.
ago.
But you can see roughly is more to see lah from the highlights from some preview the game match highlights. Like what is the way the attack is more. It's like you can see the training trying to be more like there is a system.
Right,
The
assist,
way
which can be a good thing for us in the future FPL long run. I mean,
yes. Then you can buy menu defender because it's very cheap.
like your favorite Captain Maguire. Well, he's not too cheap, but 5 mil. I'm surprised it was 5 mil actually. I thought like all the menu defenders would go down. Well, I guess
England
they were poor,
defender
but they
land.
weren't that poor lah.
Is
I
he
mean,
England captain or not? No right.
what
Is he
he
England captain?
he was, I think. Anyway,
Was
but I think the most attractive players Man United to keep an eye on to really monitor will be like people like obviously Bruno, who was a great FPL asset a couple of seasons ago at 10 mil. And then of course Sancho 7 points. I thought Sancho was the sharpest in that friendly.
no.
Uh
You think it's sharpest, but you know who I like the movement more?
Tell us.
Dalot.
Oh, Diogo Dalot. Also still at 4.5, so very,
No,
very
it's
enticing
the
price.
way last season he played. You can see his defense is not good. It's not
Mm-hmm.
so good upon 10. His defense like 4 to 5 upon 10 only.
Mm-hmm.
But his attack of course is better than one.
Aaron Wan Bissaka.
Yeah, it's better than Aaron one. But
I mean, as an FPL asset, he definitely has a lot more
but
upside
but
than
at
AWB.
this first game
Mm-hmm.
versus Liverpool, he didn't score or what, but I see his movement.
I
He
mean, he had a great chance. He hit the crossbar. Was it
You
the post or
remember
something?
last season when we watching Man Utd, I keep telling you the way he uh, uh overlap, the
Yeah,
way he
yeah, yeah,
overlap a bit cock, then the timing a bit wrong, then
yeah.
the he overlap like useless. He overlap he with his strength running, nobody pass to him overlap 10 time, one time only.
Yeah, so
You remember I tell you like that? Then
but in
his
this friendly
overlap doesn't look very good. He doesn't drag away defender much
he
one.
had that one chance from I think it was an assist from Sancho, and he hit the post or the crossbar. So
But
that was
during the game is I see the way is although Liverpool is a weak team they feel three different team 30
yeah,
minutes
yeah,
one team.
yeah, yeah.
But but it's the way they build up the attack, the way they run, the way
Mm-hmm.
they push forward when they attack the formation. You can see
Yeah,
the
yeah.
position they run. There is like you
I
make
think
you feel the training they do something about it. Training they do something about it to make it like muscle memory, make it is a system
sure.
to how to push up to attack.
I think
Very
Klopp
long
talked
never
about it.
see already like Man United like that. Like when you see when they get a ball, they overlap suddenly. you see Dalot run the right side. The timing is correct. The timing, the way to spread it.
I mean, like I said, I mean, for that one chance, I too watched the highlights. There was that one chance that really exemplifies, or is a good example of what you were talking about the timing in terms of the underlaps, overlaps, where he got the assist from Sancho. It was almost like he was trying to go for a Sergio Aguero style kind of shot. He went for the near post high, but then hit the crossbar. So yeah, that's promising. So that's there for Man United. Was that?
If the training they back up, the training really get better. ETH can really build up the training.
Well, in terms of
the way they attack, even they just need to get a few midfield and defender. Wow, I think is something promising to look at. So for FPL, next time midfield I definitely won't buy because
for the entire season, you're saying that you're gonna stay. I mean, you've mentioned that you're gonna stay away from Man United for game week 1, which makes sense. But are you saying for the whole season you're just gonna stay away from Man United players?
No lah, I already just say only I will buy it the defense. But only the winger. If the way the attack is better, I will buy maybe Dalot. Dalot is the one I see.
I mean, Man United
only
Man United's attacking stats last season actually was what? I mean, of course, as Man United fans, of course, you're frustrated. You get irritated by them. But on average, they were like, I think 5th or 6th in the entire league for their attacking stats, for sort of chances created and all that kind of stuff.
So what? FPL doesn't give you a point for created. What
yeah, but okay, sure. I mean, but then we have to go by the statistics to see, what kind of potential there is. And as we saw, like there were moments where, you had Ronaldo for a while as well. I mean, Ronaldo returned. Bruno also had returns. I mean,
I'm lucky to have Ronaldo at the hat trick.
Yeah. And Bruno also, I think there was a double game week where he had a really great return. So
that one is to me is like you are buying like roulette, playing roulette.
Well, I mean, there's something to watch.
For that price,
something
I
watch
not worth it
for
the price,
right?
For me, I don't think it's worth it. 10 million, I can get other better player.
Yeah, I mean, like if Man United were to have a decent run of fixtures, which they do not, I do not think they have in the beginning. We've talked a bit about their fixtures.
No, even they have, I will not buy.
Okay, that is the stance from Uncle Hokkien Me. He's very reticent.
I don't talk big lah, but for the first quarter of the season, let's see.
I mean,
at most, I tell you, I really will buy only to my idea is Sancho and Ilanga.
I mean, again, it really depends. Ilanga's at what, 5.5, right? Or something like he's no longer a cheap asset.
I don't know if 5.5 is also cheap.
What was I gonna say? I mean, another person we didn't mention who is at a ridiculously cheap price is Marcus Rashford at 6.5.
Wow, 5 million only.
Ilanga, yeah, Anthony Ilanga at 5 mil.
Sancho 7.5.
7.5. Rashford's at 6.5. So these are players.
It's worth it. And I think it's good. I tell you, even I will see. I will buy Fred.
I mean, like you said, like something to monitor, especially because Man United, I think leading up until the just before the World Cup, then maybe their fixtures get a bit better. But in the beginning, actually, it's quite tough. ETH Ten Hag, they start with Brighton, then Brentford away, quite tricky, and then third game is already Liverpool. So there's and then subsequently they have Leicester and then Arsenal. So he's going to be tested. He's going to be tested, and then within the first 10 weeks they also have to play Man City. So we'll get to see
let's see the first 3 games first. If first 3 games good, it's a cheap option for Man United player. Cheap option. Let's see the first 3 game how they play.
Especially the third game when they play Liverpool. So that's
win-lose not important. It's the way they build up. You can see it's getting better. Last season is you can see totally no momentum. Is the way they play. It's just put 11 players go in right? Your own self, on time, on target
Okay, so that's that for Man United. How about Liverpool? Was there? I mean, are you still
Wow,
uh,
Liverpool,
do you,
oh,
are you
I
still
tell you only
convinced
one game only
by
leh.
your
But that
decision to
one
go
game I
Diaz
see,
over Salah?
yeah, I see DS, I a bit sian.
Sian, why sian?
Don't know, 30 minutes only ma. See him like nothing play much only Liverpool nothing to say lah. Cops is a cunning fox lah. He just go to me it's not training one. Go to the match it's just for commercial purposes 30 minutes let you see all the Liverpool player
I
for
mean, yeah, I
happy
mean
for
you
the
have to
fans.
fulfill your
Like that
contractual
only
demands, so and so. But what I'm trying to ask you is, are you were you wavered? Are you still convinced by? I mean, obviously you're saying the friendly didn't show you much, but are you still sort of your first draft? You had Diaz instead of Salah. Are you still there, or are you sort of
Yeah.
changing your
No.
opinion?
I'm not changing.
Okay,
I got one idea. Later I talk about. I suddenly got one idea.
one idea. Okay, anyhow, so that's the friendly. So nothing too much to talk about in for Liverpool there. But then we do have to watch out for injuries. Apparently, Allison and Jota were hurt from that friendly, or at least training after that. So we'll keep an ear out for any news from that.
Yep.
Spurs. So Spurs had a very exciting game against the Korean League All Stars. I think they beat them like 5-3 or something like that. Kane scored, and obviously Son scored, so that was great for local fans. So same question there then. So no Salah, Diaz, 6-3, 6-3. So are you convinced? Are you gonna stick with Son? Is that gonna be your premium instead of Salah, your midfield premium?
Yep.
Yeah,
Still go for some.
that's you still in love with the Sony train, Sonny.
Still go for some.
Yeah. How about
Now
Kane though?
only idea is maybe, but like you say lah, I rather I'm wrong rather than miss out lah. I a
Wrong about
bit
what?
concerned Haaland
Oh,
and Kane.
you're wavering on Kane. He's looking really good, isn't he?
I want trying to full three spur player leh. I don't know why I very confident on I very
Woo!
look
You
good
want to
on
go
Spurs.
all out on Spurs, huh?
Three full spur
So
player. They got
who will be the three Spurs then? Tell me.
now I thinking is two defend, one midfield, or one defend, one midfield, one striker.
Okay, but who are the players? Tell us.
Perisic,
Perisic,
Son, Kane.
Son, and Kane.
Or Son, Perisic, and Doherty.
Okay. I mean, Doherty will probably have to put a pause on it because there's still rumors that Conte is looking to get Jet Spence from Middlesbrough as a right wing back. So that I'm sorry,
Middlesbrough.
yeah, from Middlesbrough Jet Spence. He was on loan at Nottingham Forest last season. He had a very successful season. He played as the
But I
wing.
think he buy him also as backup only lah. I don't think he starter leh. Doherty is really good and Conte
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, it's hard to say, right? Whether I mean,
yeah lah.
it's hard to say. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. That's all I'm saying.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. We have to keep an eye on that.
So no, now I worry is I feel because Conte have a plan lah. You see the way he buy the player, he changed his right back.
Yep.
He changed his right back. Then left back he changed. The guy what name the Senon
Sessegnon. Ryan Sessegnon. He's gonna be the backup left wing back. That's definitely there.
No. The Spain guy the Regu.
What position are you talking about?
Left back.
Left back.
Spur left back. The guy, what name? Last is under Moreno is the favorite.
Region's getting sold. He's on the transfer
Region
list.
he
Yeah.
out of favor already. Even he's not so. I think he really is the third choice or what.
He's on the transfer list.
No,
Yeah,
so what I'm saying is, Conte is shaking up Spur. Now he already one full season fully in Spur and he's still in it. This guy is ruthless. He really also got a plan. He properly what he want. The player he buy is what he want improve in the area one.
Yeah. I think you're
Like
right.
that's why he buy Richarlison because for me, I think
Mm-hmm.
last season you see Spur is Kane and Song
Yeah.
is permanent starter.
Yeah.
But then Kulu on
Yeah.
the so they play the diamond
And
triangle.
Kulusevski only came in the second half
They
of the
play
season.
they play triangle ma.
Yeah.
The attack only mostly 3% ma.
Yeah.
Then the two midfield or two DM they
Mm-hmm.
push up lah. So what then when you see when Spur have a tough game, the game is like draw pushing. Conte have not much option to change anything one. He just put in Mora, sub Kulu,
Sure.
try to change something only ma.
Sure.
But to me is he bo pian. He got no choice. He have to put in this player, but to him it's like can't change much. He just try luck already.
Not many options, like you're
So now
saying.
he buy. You see, he buy Richarlison.
Mm-hmm.
He still got buy who one more mid right.
Oh yeah,
So
They now have Bissouma, so they have a very strong defensive midfielder there.
so he can change thing up. Then he
Yeah.
sell quite a lot of Spur player ma, the or loan out ma.
De Celso's on the transfer list as well.
So now he got Mora, he got Richarlison, he
Yeah.
got Kulu to these
Yeah.
3% to change to shake thing up. He can change the pattern, change the
I mean,
formation.
another thing we have to consider is that Spurs are in the Champions League, right?
Yes.
So that's going to be very demanding. I mean, they were in Europe last
Yes,
season,
yes.
but they didn't get knocked out, but it was like for COVID reasons and all that. They didn't progress from very early on. So they had just the EPL to focus on for a long time last season, but
So
this
now-
season it'll be very different.
So now see how he
Yeah.
managed Kane
And
and
see how that balance.
and Son,
balances.
whether they will have rotation or not. Last season
That's
is
true. I mean, that's
really
something we've never had to worry about for Sonny and Kane. So this season might be the first season we'll see some rotation. Richarlison can play center forward, right? If Kane needs to be rested, etc., etc. And like you said, there's Kulusevski and then there's Lucas Moura.
I feel Kane won't be rested. I think
You think
Son
so?
will be rested.
This is true. I mean, Kane plays that more withdrawn role, so it's less running about. Whereas Son, I mean, the most I think eye-catching or image or videos was the training before the game. I think Conte made them run full pitch laps after training was done, and that was all over social media. It was just showing how the kind of the end. He's really pushing them. He's really trying to get. I mean, the theory is that those full pitch runs at the end of training is sort of trying to replicate the last minute or extra time in a game, so they get that sort of spirit. So it shows that Conte is really trying to get something going on over there. But anyhow, so Spurs there, some Spurs stuff, and we'll to round out the friendlies. We'll just for the sort of the big seven teams out there. West Ham had a friendly. I forgot who they played, but very interestingly, someone who has not been mentioned too much, Ben Rama, coming in at 6 million for FPL, which is nice little price. I think it was against Ipswich. So one of those like easy preseason game. Well, not easy lah, but a preseason game. But apart from Jared Bowen, most people will be just talking about Bowen and how he's a bit overpriced at 8.5. Do you think he's overpriced?
West Ham, no, if he perform like last season, won't overpriced lah. If he perform like last season,
just a bit difficult to fit into our squads. Just in terms of we have Salah, and then if you want to put in another 8 million, because I don't think many people will have 8 million midfielders to start with, right?
If they only have one good striker and another like 6 million, 5 million striker, if or they have very cheap defense, have to see how you shake things up. For me, and now I change my FPL team. I follow you. I only have one keeper. The other keeper is just a enable keeper.
Okay. So you're switching strategies for your keeper. Huh? I mean, this
Then
is
I have Jesus. If not, I
This-
cannot have Jesus.
Oh, okay, Jesus. I see. Yeah, this is the sort of like one common FPL strategy. A lot of people, they just have the reserve keeper.
Talk about this.
Okay.
I suddenly have the idea. I scared later I forget. Then I have
Okay,
no
tell
time.
us about your idea, Uncle Hokkien Mee.
I don't know whether is don't use try to leave 0.5 million.
Yeah, this is something that some people are doing just
Don't
in
use
terms.
full 100.
Yeah,
So you can afford.
any
First
price
thing is
rises,
you can
Yeah,
you can afford the price drop.
yeah,
You leave your price drop won't affect you so much if you leave a 0.5 because your player should be cheap.
yeah.
You
Just to
sure have some
anticipate.
enable player, so you have 0.5.
Yeah, just to
Then
anticipate any
try
price rises.
yes. So it's okay to
Okay to have
have a minimum 2 to 3 enable.
2 to 3.
If you
What?
can find a very cheap starter, that's
Oh,
very
starter.
good.
Mm-hmm.
If not, try to have to spare 0.5 to 1 million. So
Okay.
first thing is because then you have fun to maneuver ma. You
Mm-hmm.
have fun to shake thing up if your team selection, your selection during the first 2 weeks cock up or the player didn't perform. You no need to do. You can sell one player, replace. You have spare cash. You no need
Sure.
to. Sometimes if you use 100 million, you sell this player, you not enough cash. You have to adjust two to three player to get it right.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And we'll talk about budget players later in another episode. But yeah, you're definitely right. That is a strategy that some are going for, leaving
And
some
don't
space
unless
financially in your squad.
for my experience, if first week your team perform is good. If your team don't perform, don't kanjong, don't be
Don't
too
panic,
nervous,
don't panic, don't kanchong.
don't panic because maybe second week they perform. You
Yeah.
have to just endure the 3 weeks first. Endure the first
Endure.
3 weeks to see.
I
Unless
mean, the
it's like
other thing to
Arsenal.
keep
Last season
the
is
other,
Arsenal. Arsenal after 6 weeks or 7 weeks, then they get better.
I mean, they got hit with COVID in the beginning. That's something that we didn't know as well. It's only later then they said that, oh, a lot of players had COVID and we didn't know about this. So people were a bit
Yeah.
worried about that.
Well,
But yeah, I mean, and this season is going to be very different as well because we essentially have 3 wildcards. The first 2 wildcards that have to be used quite early on. So week 16 will be the World Cup, and then right after the World Cup, we'll have 1 week unlimited transfers. So you'll probably want to use your you'll definitely want to use your first World Cup before the World Cup starts. So whether that is in like week 5, week 8, or you want to wait until like 16, 15 to use it as a free hit almost, then there are different strategies to consider. But that's there. I mean, that's something that's very different this season. But going back to West Ham, also that's my mistake. Benrahma scored 1 goal. It was a friendly against Boreham Wood. But so Bowen at 8.5. So there's news, rumors, because a lot of us have Pedro Neto in our team at 5.5. So there are rumors that Lanzini might be leaving West Ham. And if that happens, Fornals could be an interesting pick at 5.5 to be a sort of an enabler like Pedro Neto, just to put that out there.
No, because for now it's also a rotation. He's not a confirmed starter.
Oh, I mean, like I'm saying if Lanzini leaves and West Ham doesn't, they don't get Lingard, then he could become an interesting option. This is what people have been talking about as well. Benrahma as well. Benrahma at 6 million. I mean, that's very, very affordable price. So that's there for West Ham. Other players not too interested. I mean, I'm not even that interested in Antonio anymore. Are you interested in Antonio?
No lah, I got no space for him.
Yeah, I mean, he
I
started off
rather
with a
have
bang
Wilson.
last season.
Wilson.
All about Callum Wilson. Well, I mean, there's been rumors that which is a perfect sort of segue, perfect transition for us to talk about, to round out today this video about transfers. There's been rumors that Newcastle is looking at the Swedish striker Alexander Isak. I don't know how to pronounce it. Isak. Let's see. Let's keep eyes peeled for that, because if that happens, then Wilson might not be as attractive of an option anymore. From Real Sociedad is Alexander Isak. He's a real talent and very young. Yeah, if Newcastle can get him, that's a next So the next step, that's a big transfer for Newcastle. Because so far Newcastle has been doing, very solid transfers. Trippier, Bruno Guimaraes, Dan Burn, not very splashy, not headline catching transfers. But if they get Alexander Isak, that is a game changer for them, I think, in terms of how they do their transfers. But let's keep our ears to the ground, see what happens there. But for other transfers that are confirmed, the very big one recently has been Raheem Sterling to Chelsea. So tell me, in terms of FPL, 10 million, does that interest you, or something just to keep your eyes peeled for?
No, for me not lah.
Nothing.
For me not lah. I know I don't have space for him. He 10 million, I cannot afford him. Choose him or Son. I choose Son lah.
Son or Raheem? It is always going to be Son.
Sterling is still listed as
midfielder. He's a midfielder.
Midfield, right? 10 million midfield. Why would I choose him?
I mean, you never. I mean, for game week 1 might be difficult, but you never know, right? If Son gets injured at some point, or he becomes a rotation risk, and Sterling, if Tuchel starts playing Sterling as a false 9, maybe he doesn't trust Werner at all, and Havertz suddenly is injured. Who knows, right? Sterling might become an option. It's definitely someone to keep an eye on.
His Son injured lah.
Yeah. Or even if Son is not injured,
I won't put him in my team now lah.
Yeah, I mean, even if Son is not injured, I mean, if Sterling starts scoring like a goal every game, he's grabbing headlines, it'll be very hard to very hard to ignore him, right? If Chelsea's on red hot form.
I don't know. I still believe Chelsea got curse.
What curse are you talking about? Tell us about this curse.
You see every player go there. Don't know why all star player go there. All dead. Shevchenko, Torres, Sterling, all from famous club go there. All gone dead.
Yeah, but those are more center forwards, ma. Sterling is more of a winger. I mean, the wingers have done well in the past. I think it seems like. How about Mason Mount? Mason Mount for the 8 million. Is he at 8 million? I think he's at 8 million. The 8 million.
Mount is good. Mount is good. Yeah. He always very consistent. You never realize Mount is good. But
because at the 8 million mark, we have
Chelsea is the manager is good.
Yeah.
But the player hot cold, they sometimes perform, then sometimes suddenly like mental collapse, then cannot
That's
perform.
That's last season, right? Last season was difficult because of the whole Abramovich situation, the club being sold. So there was a lot of uncertainty, and it's clear, even if the players say it didn't affect them, it's clear it affected them. But Mount at that 8 million option, we have other 8 million options like Saka, Foden.
If not Mount is good. Really, Mount is good. I'd rather have Mount than Sterling. 8 million only.
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
Mount is good. But
what's the but? What's the but?
Don't forget Chelsea, the rotation also quite scary one.
That's true. I mean, that's something to keep an eye out on. I mean, if depends, let's see if they sell Hakim Ziyech. There's talks of Ziyech wanting to leave. We'll see if that happens. If that happens, I mean, Lukaku has left already, obviously. So, on paper, it seems like it's going to be Havertz and Werner for the sort of number 9 position. But who knows? Maybe Sterling will play as a false 9. You never know. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. And previously, we talked a bit about worrying about Chelsea's defense, but it seems like that's not going to be a worry. I think it looks like they're going to be buying some top players to replace.
Going to aiming for three centre back.
Yeah, and they're not just they're top centre backs. It seems like that will adequately replace Rudiger and Christensen. I think so. Koulibaly, if Nathan Ake, and then also Kimpembe from PSG. So let's see who ends up going there, but not too worried at all. I don't think in terms of their defense.
You won't buy. Even they perform, you won't buy their centre back because you don't know who is starting. Is rotation their centre back always?
Sure. I mean, but initially, we were talking about how we're not too sure about maybe getting Mendy as a goalkeeper because we don't know who's in front of him. But at 5 mil,
and their centre back, because centre back they don't have EPL experience. Is a different.
Nathan Ake has EPL experience. If they go with Nathan Ake, I don't know of the 3 who they go for. But I don't know, man. I mean, Koulibaly, he seems like the kind of player that's perfect for the
No, like, to
EPL.
me, Nathan, okay, not so good also. Normal only.
Sure, but I'm not talking about Ake now. I'm talking about Koulibaly. He seems like a perfect fit for EPL.
Seems
really,
let's see let's see
he seems like, I mean, he's got that physicality,
That's why
enough
I got
technical
0.
prowess as well.
Chelsea player, the only one interests me, only Mount.
Okay, Mason Mount, keep an eye
The
on
left
that.
back, right back, I also won't buy.
But not even Mendy. Mendy doesn't interest you as a goalkeeper at 5 mil. Huh?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe, but I have the Arsenal keeper already. I only can choose one keeper only.
You're gonna go with Ramsdale, huh?
Maybe change to Mendy
Interesting.
lah. Let's see lah.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Or maybe I change to cannot. That one 5.5. I change to Spur keeper. Cannot.
Or
Don't
Lloris.
waste time. No. I only got no space for Spur keeper. I only got
That's a
two Spur
premium
players.
price. Premium price for keepers. I mean, the three premiums: Lloris, Ederson, and Alisson. I mean, if you're gonna go for premium keeper, I think you should just go for Ederson.
Yeah, no. I also won't go for Ederson.
I mean, I'm saying E5. If someone was going to go for 5.5 keeper, I think Ederson is the top choice. Because Man City, you're not going to go. There's going to be a lot of rotation in terms of the other players. But if you really want to do that, I think that's the easy choice. Because for Liverpool, Spurs, you every now and then you want to have 3 outfield players.
I got one enable, and I think it's starter, and he's a very interesting player. I think a lot of people know it, but I still want to say it, and I think I will buy him.
We can leave that for the budget section when we talk about budget players. Let's round out our talk on preseason friendlies and transfers. Finally, we started with Man U. Let's end with Man U as well. It's not confirmed yet, but it seems like it's close. Martinez from Ajax, central defender, seems to be confirmed. Will be confirmed very soon. And then there seems to be a holdup with Christian Eriksen's contract. I don't quite understand what's happening there. But as FPL options, I don't know whether either of them will be very attractive or interesting. But I think they'll definitely make Man United a better team, which would make the other FPL assets more solid, more concrete choices. So let's keep our eyes peeled for that. Anything else you want to say in terms of preseason friendlies and transfer talk before we end out the session?
No.
Okay, then. Thank you very much to all the ghosts and ancestors listening in. This is FPL Potato Me MHP signing off. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay,